Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Here's some more MGTOW fuel. As Denmark launches a sexual consent app where lovers can give permission for one intercourse, valid for 24 hours, in the wake of new rape laws. This is horrific for a plethora of reasons, but let's just give one of them, that as this is available now, every man in Denmark, or maybe globally then, has to be aware of this in order to then say to his would-be partner, so, oh, do you have that app, and can you just, consent on that, or I've got it, so I'm sending you a request, and has to do that every time, or he may not wish to use it because it's bloody useless, but he'll still need to ask her and say, just to make sure that if you've got it, you haven't forgotten to use this, otherwise that could be used against me later. Or, oh, you don't have it, well, that's fine, but I don't know that you haven't got it. And then you go down a terrible route, in which case, what is now coming down to, you've got to film them saying that they don't have it and that they do consent to the sex. But then, of course, it has to be consistent, continued, enthusiastic consent. And how are you going to be able to prove that that's the case? Well, obviously you can't unless you're filming the entire thing, but then you're getting involved in just making porn, and you're going to find very few women who are going to agree to that with a strange first time. It's like, yeah, I'm going to film all this, no, not because I'm going to post it or enjoy it later on, no, definitely not, but I just need this in case you try and say that I've raped you. Great. What a great chat-up line. So how about you and me come back to my place and I'll film it all, just in case you claim that I've raped you. So, no, I think there are plenty more fish in the sea, and I'd rather go with somebody who seems a bit more sane. The issue is, of course, that these men are just trying to protect themselves, and that's what it has come down to. In which case, you can, by all means, take the risk, but we all know what happens if you do take the risk, whether that be then you suddenly got a child with somebody that you don't know, or false rape accusations that are going to ruin your life even if you're eventually found innocent, or child benefits to cost you for the next 18 years, and maybe alimony as well. Why not? Let's just throw that into the mix. So you have all that to take into consideration, and you go, is it really worth the hassle for that one night stand? No, not really. In which case, why bother? And you might go, oh, well, wear contraception. So, oh, is that 100% reliable then? And if you say, oh, well, I was wearing contraception, but it broke. So, oh, cool, yeah, well, you're off the hook then, my lad. No, of course not. So is it worth taking the risk? Where is your risk tolerance? So requests for sexual consent can be sent and responded to on the iConsent app. How forward-thinking. And I understand that maybe the app developers are just trying to cash in on a trend, or maybe think that they're actually doing some good, seeing as it is linked with victim support groups. In which case, good on them, but I think they've missed the mark on this one. It comes after Denmark toughened rape laws to require explicit sexual consent. Yes, whereas before it was if there was proof of violence or that the other party couldn't resist. But now the threshold has dropped, like it has done in Sweden, increasing their convictions 75% for rape. And let's hope that that is actually a good thing. As in, that fewer rapists get away, and that not more innocent people get imprisoned. But one review labelled the app as unsexy as another Corona press conference. Precisely, it's received 2.3 out of 5 stars, and it's for that reason that, sure, we understand that we've got to be more virtual and we're all online and digital, by all means, but there's still human element, and surely the most human interaction that you can have, the most essential interaction, is that of sex. So do you really wish to sterilise that, for want of a better term? It seems to be just removing the fun and the romance and the essence of life from every aspect that is possible. And that's why, of course, we're seeing MGTOW becoming more and more popular, and you can't really fault people for it, because why would you? You're just going to tap out. If you go, oh, yet another hoop to jump through, I don't really think it's worthwhile. And of course, that's just for the one night stand side of things. But then if you're trying to make a relationship of this afterwards, then you go into marriage laws as well and go, well, why is it really worthwhile then? What is the risk? It's that if you start a relationship with someone, if you decide to cohabitate, then you're already having to decide, okay, am I happy with them being able to take half my stuff? Because that's definitely feasible. And for a lot of guys, go, well, oof, I don't know, it seems like the majority of marriages end in divorce. Go, yeah, not quite the majority of first marriages, but nonetheless, yep, the majority of marriages end in divorce, in which case, doesn't really seem worthwhile, seeing as that the female is going to be getting more, whether that be money or the children. They're going to be getting everything, in which case, again, it just doesn't seem to be worth the risk. And the worst thing about that is, of course, that it's missing out on a key aspect of life for both men and women, as in having your relationship, marriage, and children, that they're both then missing out from that key aspect component of life of, you know, the previous billions of years which have brought us here. And yet that is just the state of play, that a rational human would most likely look at the state of play and go, no, it's just not worth it. And thankfully we are seeing pushback from women as well, saying, hang on a minute, I think this push for feminism has actually done us a great disservice as well, and now where have all the good men gone? So, well, the smart men kind of know that it's not a good idea to try and have relationships with you, so they've tapped out, and you're only going to see more of that. So that's good. But getting back to the topic in hand with the iConsent app, if somebody is able to take advantage of another party, and this doesn't have to be male on female, could be male on male, could be female on female, could be female on male, any of that, if they are able to achieve that, then they can, of course, fake the consent anyway. And because that is known, is it going to stand up in court? No, it isn't. So as in, proving, oh, we've got consent through this app, doesn't really mean much. However, the chance that it was there and wasn't used because maybe it was just forgotten about and then there was regretful sex afterwards, that's then going to be an issue. But let's not give the developers of the app too much credit or too much benefit of the doubt, given that, they say, developers say the app gives people the opportunity to document your consent to intercourse by allowing lovers to send and receive requests via their phones. But they add that consent in the app can never stand alone, quite useless then, and that it is up to you and the other party to secure your consent before, during, and after intercourse. And that's the bit I'm having a bit of trouble understanding. So are you okay with us doing this? Yep. Cool. Are you okay with this happening? Yep. Okay, cool. You okay with what we've just done? So yeah, are you still okay with what we did? Yep. Just call up a couple of months later. You still okay with what we did? Yep. A couple of years later. Oh, you probably don't remember me. We had a one night stand a couple of years ago in the summer of 2021. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, tall, dark, handsome. Yeah. You still happy with what we did? Yeah. Cool. Just call them up in the middle of taking care of children. Hi, yeah, it's me from a decade ago. You still okay with what we did? Brilliant, yeah. 30 years down the line and they're a widow and wondering where the paycheck's going to come from. Hey, you still okay with what we did 30 years ago? No. Ah, damn it. Well, here comes the payments then. Like, at what point after intercourse you're supposed to have consent, and what exactly is it consent for? If it's because you've, made evidence of it, is that when they're withdrawing their consent afterwards? Or at what point, how long after intercourse are you supposed to have consent? And what is it that you've got consent for? Because surely then, if they say, oh no, I didn't really enjoy it, I'd rather it didn't happen, I think I made a mistake. So, okay, well, that's a shame. I had nothing to go on at the time. I thought it was quite fun, actually. But, okay, we just won't do this again. Isn't that normally where it ends? And then you go, cool, well, then you'll know maybe to not do this so quickly next time. And maybe inform your social circle that it's not such a good idea to put out on the first date. Or no, just say, oh no, women can't do any wrong. If they make a mistake, then, they should be ushered all the possibilities as possible. And yes, I am singling out women there because we know that's how the law works. But that's it from this. Otherwise we're going to go into far too many statistics and then go into domestic abuse and go into child custody. So we'll leave it there. I'm sure you know the rest of what I'd say anyway. So we'll leave it for now. But as always, let me know what you guys think down below. Is it good to have something else which can be used as a defence in court should it get there, that you've got that little app? Or is it just in the way and removes the romance? Or is it something now that guys have yet another thing to be concerned about? Because you know that they're trying to say that it's non-gendered and it's just a partner or a party and the subsequent party, but it's painted at men and women are victims, because that is the going narrative. Anyway, let me know down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say, and as always, until next time, have a good one.